So in
Good
the
morning, sir.
next topic in this unit, that is your what do you call fourth unit. In that, the application of various chromatographic techniques in standardization of herbal products or herbal medicines, right? So when we talk about the standardization, right, it is nothing but we are ensuring the herbal products or herbal materials during this process or during manufacturing, what is their quality is going to be retained, how we are going to standardize the constituents present in that. So here there are two methods like chromatographic methods and the spectroscopic methods. So here we are going to study about the chromatographic techniques, different chromatography which you have studied in your analysis subject. That chromatographic like TLC, HPTLC, HPLC, gas chromatography, how we are going to use these kinds of techniques in the standardization of herbal medicines. That is going to be the theme. Definition of chromatography. Chromatography is a technique used to separate and identify the component in a mixture. The separation of a mixture by distribution of its component between a mobile phase and a stationary phase over the time, right? So mobile phase are generally solvents, so I will not go much deep onto the what chromatography is, right? So here also you can see the Wattman filter paper with a stationary phase here, right? Ink spot to be separate, this one, and the spot separated into the 5 different colors here. Mobile phase is a solvent. So generally the spot will be run along with the solvent that we are seeing in the paper chromatography or thin layer chromatography, and it is going to separate the constituents which is there in your, that is going to separate. So generally what is the principle? A mixture of two different compound passing it through mobile phase to stationary phase. Mobile phase means solvent, stationary phase means silica gel or some other gas. It depends on the chromatography that retains some compounds longer than other in stationary phase, right? So what are there in the stationary phase? These compounds they are going to retain. In stationary phase, the retention factor or RF value, that is called, is calculated, where RF value of each and every compound it is going to be different. That's what mixture of compound or two different compounds, right? So that we can get that the one is the routine and one is the quercetin, or like that. What are the two compound? It is there in your mixture, which is the extract or some other. Some terminologies in chromatography, generally the retention factor value, right? Here you can see into the formula, distance moved by the substance or distance moved by the solvent front. Here you can see solvent front, how much solvent has run maximum, that we have done in the TLC in our lab also. The separated dyes, the different dyes which we have plotted here. Then this is the filter paper, ink spot, or these are the solvent which will run, right? So we have to measure this one. Like here you can see the distance traveled by the solvent, it is 10, and distance traveled by the solute or substance, it is 4. So it is going to the substance means 4 divided by 10, so it is going to be the RF value, right? Mobile phase, generally what are the types? In different types of chromatography, like paper chromatography, air or alcohol can be used as a solvent, right? Air means that simply we are going to dry into the air, or sometime alcohol we are using. In TLC, hexane, ether, petroleum, alcohol, these are the main solvent which we are using. In gas chromatography, gas, as the name indicate, gas chromatography, helium, nitrogen, all those things. In HPLC, cyclohexane, N-hexane, carbon tetrachloride, ethanol, methanol, and air. Generally used as mobile phase in detection of some chemical compounds. You can see here that polar compound, if it is there, right, in this chemical compound which you are going to separate, like anthra glycosides or arbutin, alkaloids, cardiac glycosides, beta principles, or flavonoids and saponins. If you want to separate such, the mobile phase, generally it is going to use that ethyl acetate, methanol, and water in 100 is to 13.5 is to 10 ratio. Okay, if it is a lipophilic compounds, so in that case toluene and ethyl acetate in 93.93 is to 7 ratio we are going to use. So this example you are supposed to mention here. You can see here in the different types of natural chemical compound they have given, and what kind of solvent system we can use when it comes to the TLC or HPTLC. In that case, suppose if it is the naphthaquinone or valproate, in the case of flavonoids, in the case of saponin. So here they have given like if you are trying to separate the alkaloids, so toluene, ethyl acetate, and diethyl amine, 70 is to 20 is to 10. In flavonoids, ethyl acetate, formic acid, and glacial acetic acid, 100 is to 11 is to 11 is to 26. So this you need to remember, because if I say flavonoid, it is the large group, right? Like quercetin, rutin, or so many flavonol. We have discussed into the classification of flavonoid. So what is the type of flavonoid you are expecting in your extract or in your sample, so that you can decide like this solvent system in saponin. So you should have the preliminary idea about that. In your extract there might be the saponin compound, or which is fulfilling to be saponin. Then you can adopt these kinds of solvent system like chloroform, glacial acetic acid, methanol, and water. 64 is to 32 is to 12 is to 8, right? So this you have to follow. Whatever the volume you are preparing, that practice we have already done, so you might not having any difficulty to understand. Coumarin for this, you can see for bitter drugs, ethyl acetate, methanol, and water. Cardiac glycosides means like digitalis, digitoxin, digitogenin, right? Ethyl acetate, methanol, and water. So here you can see in bitter drugs and in the almost same solvent system. So here the ratio you can change here, right? 100 is to 13.5 is to 10, or you can use this 81 is to 11 is to 8. Like essential oils, toluene and ethyl acetate is sufficient. Lignans, pigments, natural pigments, it is there. Ethyl acetate, formic acid, glacial acetic acid, 100 is to 11 is to 11 is to 26. Then pungent testing, different like terpenes, triterpenoids, sesquiterpenoids, tetraterpenoids, all those things, right? So you can use the different stationary phase. This is also playing major role in the especially in the thin layer chromatography, in the HPTLC also. The type of chromatography in suppose you are taking the paper chromatography. So obviously filter paper, what mean filter paper you are using, or cellulose, that can be the material as a which can play as a role of the stationary phase. If it is thin layer chromatography, silica gel G we are using, alumina we can use, and the polyamide also we can use. Gas chromatography, squalene or epigeon or carbovax M, that is there, it will be there already in GCMS. So in HPLC also, carbon 8, carbon 18, or licosob or silicon can be used as a stationary phase. Retention time, it's very important factor or terminology in chromatography. Retention time, or it is also abbreviated with RT, is a measure of the time taken for a solute to pass through chromatography column, right? So here you can see the detector's response and the time. The graph it has given detector's response, whatever the detector it is there, and the time versus. So here you are injecting how it is going to give the peak, that you can see, right? So at what time it has been detected, so you can see here, right? The solute it has given peak here. So that can be the how, what is the time of retention it has taken to give the peak in certain types of chromatography. Resolutions, this gives information us how the one component is well differentiated from another, right? So here also the detector signals and the time versus, you can see here they have given one formula like RS is equal to 2 in bracket TRB minus TRA divided by WA plus WB, right? So here you can see the peak width, right? WA and peak width WB, right? So in one sample you have got this kind of peak, so you can put in the to get the resolution value. Type of chromatography, generally these are the four types of example we are seeing in the previous slides also. Paper chromatography, it separates dried liquid samples with a liquid solvent like mobile phase and a paper strips, that is the stationary phase. What meant filter paper you are using, right? So thin layer chromatography, It separates the dried liquid samples with a liquid solvent like mobile phase, different mobile phase we have discussed for alkaloid, glycoside, flavonoids, and a glass plate covered with a thin layer of alumina or silica gel as a stationary phase. This glass plate, also TLC plate, we prepared in our lab in micro slides. You remember silica gel slurry we have made and we poured into the glass. Then we kept into the hot air oven for activation. Then we tried to perform the some special aspects also. Liquid chromatography, it separates liquid sample with a liquid solvent like mobile phase and the column composed of a solid beads like stationary phase. Whereas in the gas chromatography, it separates vaporized samples with a carrier gas, mobile phase, any carrier gas like helium, and the column and a column composed of a liquid or of a solid beads like a which will play as a role of a stationary phase. Discussion of application of chromatography. That's only the theme of today's class. That what is the application in pharmaceutical industry to identify the drug, avoid impurities, determine stabilities, dosage form, and to find out the quantity of drug present in the dosage form. That's also we can find out by the chromatography, since we are able to separate the constituents present in that particular mixture, any of the mixture. So depend on the sample, we are selecting the type of chromatography. Heavy metal analysis of drugs like cadmium, arsenic, mercury, if these are there in the drug, that can be also separate out. The pesticidal residue and the microchemical analysis of the drug also can be done with the chromatography. Analysis of natural contaminations like phenol and mercury from seawater, that also can be find out by the chromatography. Then forensic tests like determination of steroids in blood, urine, and sweat, that will be done in the pathological labs or in forensic lab. In the detection also, right? Detection in the of psychotropic drug in plasma, like somebody has taken the some kinds of hypnotic sedative drugs like barbituric acid related compounds. So if they have misused or they have taken in excess dose, that can also be, the quantity also can be determined by this. Clinical test also, that monitoring of hepatic cirrhosis patient through the aquaporin 2 in the urine, that also can be done. And food and essence manufacture, like sweeteners analysis in the fruit juice, how much sweetener has been used, and preservative analysis, how much preservative has been used for the particular doses form or particular herbal medicine, that also can be determined. So let's understand the different chromatography one by one in this thing. Paper chromatography, you have seen that solvent front, solvent system will be there, and we have to clip onto the certain, it should be in straight mode, like so. Then like same TLC, it will run. You have to plot the samples at the baseline, which you have to prepare 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, depend on your chambers and depend on your paper size. And you have to plot the sample and you have to put deep into the solvent. Then solvent will start running. Then again you have to go for RF value. The application of chromatography. Chromatography can be used for isolating known and unknown substance. Yes, identifying pure substance from mixture, that also, and a determination of decomposed product, right? So these are the applications. Your year one journals, you can see a journal of chromatography. In that they have given the coupling frontal illusion paper chromatography with desorption corona beam, ionization mass spectrometry for the rapid analysis of chlorphenamine in herbal, right? So this is the paper chromatography they have used for the analysis of chlorphenamine, which is the one of the constituents present in the herbal, that can be also identified by the so it's elsewhere journals, the journal of chromatography, very good journals, like where they have published. So this is the role. uh, Coming to the thin layer chromatography, already we have done that thin layer chromatography, how we have to keep the pre-coated TLC plate, right? That also the research purpose they will be using, right? So here also the same, you can see the development chambers we used to do in the beakers, or sometime the development chamber, it was very big. So if only few batches, we can use the beaker. You have to cover on the top in the petri dish, right? So that the solvent vapor cannot go out, and let allow your deep your baseline into the solvent system, then the whatever the sample you have poured, that layer chromatography, it is qualitative and quantitative analysis of herbs and herbal drugs, analysis of crude samples containing multiple components, and the separation processes is easily to follow, especially with the colored compounds. For the specific and sensitive colored reagents can be used to detect the separated spot, like dragon draft reagents or Cadis reagents, which we are using for the separation of alkaloid and glycosides. Several samples can be separated parallel to each other on the same plate, resulting in the high output, time saving, and a rapid and low cost analysis. Right. Coming to the HPTLC, here you can see that how it is going to different high performance thin layer chromatography. It is automatic, as I told you. It TLC is manual and this is going to be automatic, right? The machine is going to have the automatic developing chamber also. It will be there. You can see here that this is the automatic developing chamber, and this is the qualitative evaluation with TLC scanner for, right? It will scan and the software will be there which will be attached, so you will get the RF value, the calculated by the system, right? HPTLC of the different in Philippines, you can see here different example like fruiting twing. If for fruits, you can see this, that this is the TLC fingerprint of the test solution of Melotus philippensis, right? This is the name of the plant, where the test solution of T1, T2, like that they have given in 366 nm or after derivatization. The first one it is showing in 366 nm of the UV light. You can see here the spots it is visible, and after derivatization the how the spots it is going to different. So this is the one example application of HPLC. Let us understand HPLC, then we are going to see the video. Coming to the it is preparative and analytical. HPLC are widely used in pharmaceutical industry for isolating and purification of herbal compounds, like isolating and purification of herbal compounds, right? Different compounds which will be there in the herbal formulation. So there are basically two types: low pressure HPLC, that is the typically under 5 bar. Bar is the power, right? And that this high pressure HPLC, the pressure which is going to be increased, the high pressure where some compound it is required. Then coming to the HPL, the LCMS, liquid chromatography and mass spectroscopy application. This is LCMS has become method of choice in many stages of drug development. For example, chemical standardization of an aqueous extract of a mixture of the compound of herbal formulation, the compound which is there in the herbal formulation, how we are going to chemical standardize each and every individual constituents, we are going to standardize by LCMS, because liquid chromatography and mass spectroscopy. What is the role of mass spectroscopy? It is going to tell you the exact structure, how it is going to be, what is the mass, what is the atomic weight, right? And this liquid chromatography, it is going to separate the liquid sample, which is the sample which can dissolve with the proper solvent system. That's the difference between the GCMS and LCMS. The type of sample, it will decide the type of chromatography. LCMS is also useful in analysis of aminoglycosides. Analysis of aminoglycosides, their solubility in water, plasma protein binding capacity, and their excretion parameters also can be determined. The next one is the gas chromatography. So as the name indicate, gas chromatography. So where the gas is going to be the mobile phase, right? So here the carrier gas, it will be allowing for helium, hydrogen gas. Like here the pressure control will be there. Here we are going to inject the sample, and this is going to run in the column, and the detector will detect, and the data system will give the different picks. So in the gas chromatography, identification and quantifying of aromatic and volatile substances of medicinal plants, that can be which is having the volatile in nature, or which can evaporate right easily with the along with the gases, like volatile oils and aromatic principle in the herbal mixture, right? That can be done. So these are the different these techniques which we can use for the different purpose. Supercritical fluid chromatography, or SFC application. SFC permits the separation and determination of a group of compounds that are not conveniently handled by either gas or liquid chromatography. So when it is going to fail, it is useful for the separation of much less polar compounds. For example, many natural products, including fat soluble vitamins, carotenoids, and lipids, along with the separation of each individual components of herbal drugs, right? So this is also very useful chromatography. Here you can see into the image. In supercritical chromatography, here a carbon dioxide, that is the as a source, it will be used, and here sample injection pump will be there. It is then extraction cell, it is the oven where the temperature will be maintained, then pump, and it is going to be collected, right? So generally the use of the supercritical chromatography are different, right? So coming to the conclusion, complex mixture of herbal drugs can be separated by chromatography, passing through mobile to stationary phase. Mobile phase is either gas or liquid, but it is stationary phase is ever solid in whatever the type of chromatography. Component in mobile and stationary phase depends upon the test drug, what kind of herbal drug you are going to use to test such drug. Then chromatography techniques is compulsory in the field of herbal drugs standardization, authentication, and manufacturing, right? For identification, authentication, quantifying, preparation, and standardization of Ayurvedic herbal drugs, many physical, chemical, biological, and instrumental techniques are used. Among them, chromatography is the physiochemical method. Okay. Paper chromatography is used to identify and separate simple compound of herbal drugs. High performance liquid chromatography like HPLC, and the high performance thin layer chromatography like HPTLC are backbone of Ayurveda, backbone of Ayurveda for drug standardization and authentication. So you just imagine HPLC and HPTLC, these are, without that we cannot, because Ayurveda is a mixture of compound, number of components will be there. Gas chromatography techniques is widely used to detect and quantify volatiles and aromatic of herbal drugs, which we have discussed now. Supercritical fluid chromatography is the hybrid production of gas and liquid chromatography for extraction from crude herbs, right? So these are the different chromatographic techniques which we are supposed to study, and these are how they are going to helpful into the herbal drug standardization. Thank you.